Welcome. You are listening to the Louie Minor Show. I'm your host, Commissioner Louie Minor. Today is June 11th, 2023. We have a lot to discuss today, so let's get started. Let's begin the show with the agenda for June 12th, 2023 of the Bell County Commissioners Court. Item 1 is the invocation. 2 is the Pledge of Allegiance. 3 is the consent agenda. Consider approval of minutes of June 5th, 2023 of the Commissioners Court. Personnel and budget amendments. Claims, personnel, accounts payable, payroll, restitution. Then we have consider authorizing the county judge to enter into a interlocal agreement between Bell County and the City of Temple to allow shared use of competitive procedure process by their entity. Item E, consider authorizing the award of IFB 08-24 vehicles for the following bids. Bid A, consider the award of 3 2024 Chevy Malibus to the lowest bidder, meeting specs, Don Ringler Chevrolet, for the bid amount of $27,116.25 each, for a total of $81,348.75 for the Guardian ad litem and the County Attorney's Office with appropriate budget amendments. Item B, consider the award of 2024 Ford Transit 3500 to the only bid received, meeting specification, Silsby Ford, for a total bid of $57,000 for the Facilities Service Department with appropriate budget amendments. Item C, consider the award of 2023 Ram 1500 tradesman pickup to the lowest bidder, meeting specifications, Temple McHike Dodge Limited, for the total bid amount of $40,771 for the Road and Bridge Department. Item D, consider the award of 2024 Chevy Silverados 2500 HD 4x4 regular cab pickup trucks to the lowest bidder, meeting specifications, Don Ringler Chevrolet, for the bid of $46,927 each, for a total bid amount of $93,854 for the Road and Bridge Department. Item E, consider the award of 2024 Chevy 3500 flatbed crew cab truck to the lowest bidder, meeting specifications, Don Ringler Chevrolet, for the total bid amount of $58,500 for the Road and Bridge Department. Item F. Hold on, let me see. Oh, yeah. Item F, consider authorizing 2 2023 Crew Cab 4x4 Chevy Silverado 1500s under the TIPS Purchasing Cooperative Contract number 210907 with Lake Country Chevrolet at a cost of $47,217 each, for a total of $98,434 for the Road and Bridge Department and the Facility Services Department with appropriate budget amendment. Consider reappointment of Dr. Andres Antovins, Mr. Stevens Wick, and Miss Rita Kelly to the Board of Trustees for Central Texas County Services for fiscal year 24 on September 1st, 2023, and will expire fiscal year of 25 on August 31st, 2025. Consider the appointments of Eris Montez, Bobby Joe Lewis, and Liz Rodriguez to the Bell County Child Welfare Board. Consider approval adding the Sheriff's Department admin assistant position for pay personnel background and recruitment, PBR, to a 205/07 effective immediately. Now that's everything for the consent agenda. Then we have a presentation by Texas Indigent Defense Commission monitoring results of Belk County's indigent defense system. County engineer consider and approve a final plat of the Tanglewood, amending plat number 18, being 0.942 acres, lot 1, block 1 subdivision, located within the City of Temple's ETJ, Belk County, Precinct 3. Then we have the county judge and commissioner's announcements. Agenda items may be considered deliberated. Okay, that's everything for the agenda. Now we have our workshop. Immediately following that, we will have discuss amending rules and procedures, conduct and decorum. We will discuss funding of indigent health care program for the remainder of the fiscal year. That was put on by Commissioner Schumann. Then we have reports and updates from various county departments, capital improvement projects, and we'll go into a closed session deliberation regarding contracts being negotiated relating to the jail expansion. That's in the morning. Then in the afternoon, we have consider a proclamation recognizing Juneteenth, National Independence Day, Judge Blackburn. Then we have discuss building and grounds use policy. And then we have discuss FY 2024 budget. Let's see. Then we have on our workshops for the budget, we have discuss the budget workshop. That'll be tomorrow. Then on Tuesday, discuss on June 20th at 1:30, we have the district attorney, public health, indigent health, and budget, revenue, personnel, equipment, and operating. Okay, so I guess we're going to be going over some things. Then we have the 22nd budget discussions, 28th budget discussions. We'll have sheriff and constable fines and fees, hotel occupancy tax, and general budget. Then we have June 29th, more budget discussions. And I believe that is it. We have July 13th budget discussions, July 25th budget discussions, the 26th budget discussions, the 28th budget discussions. And that is it for budget discussion workshops as of now. Then we also have June 15th, Central Texas Council of Governments Executive Committee meeting. These are meetings that we may attend. So all of us may attend, so we'll have to let you know that, disclose that. June 20th, 10:30, Brazos River Authority. June 21st, Brazos River Authority. That'll be in Round Rock. The first one is in Cleburne, Texas. And then we have June 21st, 11 a.m., jail topping out ceremony. And then June 22nd, 10:30, we have the Brazos River Authority again in Rosenberg, Texas. And that is everything that is on the workshop agenda for Bell County. So let's discuss what happened at the last meeting of the Commissioner's Court that we had last week on June 5th. As you know, that I added to the agenda at the request of a citizen of Bell County to add a proclamation for June as LGBT Pride Month. And I figured that the Commissioner's Court would not approve that, find some way not to approve it. But these clips are not very long. I want to play them in their entirety because I want you to know exactly what the other commissioners are doing here in Bell County. So we'll begin with the consideration of a proclamation proclaiming June as LGBT Pride Month. Now, I want to set the stage for you in your mind, your imagination. The room was packed with evangelical Christians, obviously, older, white, coming in there with signs saying no to item 5. That was the item number for that. Sinners, all that other jazz. They were giving me a thumbs down while I was sitting on the dais. And I even received a lot of emails, and I'm going to read an email that's kind of related to this a little bit later on, just so you see what's happening here in Bell County. So, packed courtroom, a lot of people there against this item. A lot of people signed up to speak on this item. We had some supporters there as well from the LGBT community. Thank you for coming out. But here is the item as it occurred on June 5th, 2023, the Bell County Commissioner's Court.
Next item on our agenda is to consider a proclamation proclaiming June as LGBT Pride Month. Do we have a motion on this item?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Minor. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? Motion fails for lack of a second.
Point of order, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Judge, on all of our proclamations that we have done here at the Commissioner's Court, and let's start with April 17th, 2023, because that's when we voted and changed our rules in decorum, where we have to have a motion and a second before we vote on an item. Since then, May 1st, we had a proclamation for Mental Health Awareness Month. There was no motion, no vote on the proclamation. May 15th, we had National Salvation Army Week. There was a motion and a second, no vote. We had on that same day recognizing Fort Cavazos redesignation. There was a motion and a second, no vote. Here, we just had Elderly Awareness Month. There was a motion and a second. There was no vote by the Commissioner's Court. And I looked in 2022, all of the proclamations that was done, there were no motions or no votes on any of those proclamations. So why now are we doing that here? I'm asking that you be fair, impartial, as the presiding officer of this court for the Bell County, and issue this proclamation for LGBT Pride Month.
Cannot sustain your point of order, although I appreciate you bringing that up. We can go back in this agenda and make sure we vote on the proclamation that we just had a motion and a second to. I think those are very good points, that if we motion and second on an item, we should vote on that item. But I'm going to follow the protocol and our rules, which says if no motion and second on the item, then the item is deemed removed from the agenda, and no further action or discussion, either by the court or any member of the public. So I apologize to everyone who showed up and all the public participation forms that were filled out. But because there was not a second on this motion, there isn't any discussion either by the Commissioner's Court nor by members of the public on the item. All right.
So that's what happened. Since I did not get a second on that motion, the proclamation effort died. But as you heard, that right before we had this item come up, we had another proclamation. And in that proclamation, we had a motion and a second, didn't take a vote on it. And we read the proclamation, no problem, none at all. So then, people clapped. A lot of people left. Some people stayed behind. And then at the end of all of our meetings, we have county judge and commissioner announcements to allow us to say something. So I'm going to play item 8, what I said on for my commissioner's announcements.
Item 8, County Judge and Commissioner announcements. Commissioners?
I have some stuff to say, Judge. Since bigotry prevailed today, I just want to go on the record and say that happy Pride Month to all the citizens of Bell County. I value what you do, what you provide to this community. You care for our sick. You teach our young. You protect our families. And I want to recognize that. As a member of the LGBT community, you have a voice on this Commissioner's Court. So thank you.
Judge, if you don't mind, thank you, Mr. Minor. It's interesting that we judge one another based on one sin differently than we do another, from both sides. I too applaud those members of the LGBT community who do good things for the things that they do. I also applaud other sinners for the good things that they do, but I cannot applaud any of us, all of us, in any sin that we may perform. It's my own personal opinion. I'm not bigoted, not binding that on you, not binding that on anybody else. I didn't second the motion or would have voted for it because of my personal convictions that are very similar to your personal convictions, just on the other side of the spectrum is all. I don't appreciate being called a bigot because I don't believe I am one. I believe I'm a Christian. Excuse me. We do have decorum here.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
I have family that are involved in this as well. This is very personal to me. We all do. We all know somebody who's in something that maybe they shouldn't be in, and we try to help. And some of those people are happy to be in what they're in, and we let them continue to do that because that is their choice. So I'm not here to tell you not to be you or not to do what you want to do. But personally, I can't vote for something that supports what I personally believe to be a sin, not just homosexuality, but also pride. The only pride I have is in my God, and I'll leave it there.
Any other announcements, Commissioners? I guess I'll make a couple of comments also. I mean, regardless of the consideration of the proclamation that was not considered this morning, I will continue to respect each and every person that comes before me and the Commissioner's Court. I don't think we've denied any services, discriminated in the provision of those services, and nor would I condone any discrimination of services by anyone else. The rights and responsibilities of those associated with the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, asexual, and other similar movements should, in my opinion, be no less and no greater than any other member of our community under the laws of this nation and of this state, to which I've taken an oath to uphold. But I cannot, and I do not celebrate or proclaim those lifestyle choices of an individual who chooses to be a part of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, asexual, or other similar movements. And I believe that by signing the proclamation, I would be conveying more than a respect for the legal rights of those individuals. And that is the extent to which I will go. Commissioners, we're adjourned. We'll have a workshop at 9:45. Thank you.
So that's everything that happened during the meeting, but I want to share more information that occurred outside of the meeting, just so you know how your other county commissioners here in Bell County feel about the LGBT community, minority communities here in Bell County. On Facebook, in a group called Killeen, Texas Citizen Expressions, Bell County Commissioner Bobby Woodson, Precinct 2, put this on Facebook. It's lengthy, so just bear with me. June has a significant importance to the LGBTQ plus community. They have deemed it Pride Month. As a Christian, I believe both homosexuality and pride are sinful. God has defined homosexuality as sinful and depravity. Leviticus 18:22 and 20:13, Romans 1:25 through 28, Corinthians 6:9 through 11. Jesus clearly defined proper sexual activity between a male and a female in the bonds of marriage and reaffirmed that it has been that way since the beginning. There was no need, nor would it be practical, to enumerate all of the different perversions man has made of sex. Any other expression of sexuality, to include homosexuality, is inherently sinful. Pride is just as sinful. Proverbs 8:13, 6:8 through 19, 8:12, Corinthians 5:1 through 2, 1 John 2:6 through 17, Mark 7:20 through 23. As a Christian, I'm taught to love my neighbor, even if they are my enemy. I'm not to judge the sinner, for that is God's responsibility, and we will be judged, both in love. I am supposed to be an example for others to help them whenever I can. I have friends and family who are homosexuals, and I love them. They know I cannot approve of their sin in their lives, but I do love them and pray that they overcome their temptations and repent of their sins. I do the same for myself and everyone else in the world, for we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But we cannot continue to sin and hope God's grace will be given if we remain unrepentant and continue in our sin. Precinct 4 County Commissioner Louie Minor has put an item on the agenda for the Bell County for the commissioners to proclaim June Pride Month in Bell County. I cannot support the purposeful celebration of homosexuality or pride, as I see them both as sinful by God's standards. Mr. Minor has a liberal agenda, but this one is even more personal to him, as he is openly gay. I do not want any misconceptions concerning my decision. I love all my neighbors and genuinely hope, genuinely hope that they follow God's to salvation. I do not hate Mr. Minor or any other person in this world. I do hate sin that destroys lives, and I will not tolerate it. Some try to misrepresent homosexuality as love, but while it may certainly contain an element of love, it is about sex. Love, as God describes it does not have to include sex, but homosexuality is defined by nothing but sex with the same sex, and love is not necessarily for sexual preference. It is simply sexual immorality, and it is not to be celebrated, but it is to be repented of and condemned in order to save one's under bondage unto it. Love is patience, love is kind, it is not envious, love does not brag, it is not puffed up, it is not rude, it is not self-serving, it is not easily angered or resentful, it is not glad about injustice, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. I cannot and will not support this proclamation request nor any other promotion or celebration of sin. I love you all. God bless. So that's what he put on Facebook in that group. And he has since taken that down. Why, might you ask? Does Commissioner Bobby not want this online anymore? I don't know. Probably because it doesn't look good for him. He got a lot of comments on that before he took it down, stating that, how dare him, use his religion, a religion that is of love, and try to spew hate with it, was what a lot of the comments said. And even at that meeting, someone came up to me and told me, how dare you put this on there, blah, 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 started reading Bible verses to me. And I told that lady, I said, ma'am, this is not a place of worship. This is government, a place of government for all people. So I said, thank you, and turned and walked away. And I wanted to go back and talk about Judge Blackburn's comments and his closing statements, where he said no services have been denied to the LGBT community in Bell County. And I thought about it, and if you really think about it, he just denied equal services to the LGBT community because I followed all the rules that we've done before for proclamations in Bell County, and we've never had to vote on it. And only recently did we do a motion in a second, and that hasn't even been consistent. But they denied equal service, I believe. And I think a lot of you believe that as well. But then I was reminded by some friends here in Bell County that there was a couple that tried to get married here in Bell County right after the Supreme Court ruled that gay marriage is legal in the United States everywhere. They went to the Bell County clerk's office to get a license to get married, and they were denied issuance of a license. So don't sit there and lie to the people of Bell County and say that no services have ever been denied, because that simply is not the truth. It has been. It continues to be. And that's why it's important that we stay involved with our government, local government, county government, hold them accountable. And if they want to discriminate, then we need to vote them out and get people in there that's going to listen to everyone. So, since it is the beginning of Pride Month, the month of June, I put up in my Bell County office, I put up a pride flag in my window. You can see it from the courthouse, from the floor, or the street. You can see it from the street. I also hung up a Juneteenth flag in my office. It could be seen from the street as well. And it's been up there since pretty much the 1st of June, the 2nd, something like that, pretty quick, as soon as the date hit. And no one said anything. But I am assuming the Republican Party had a meeting there on June 7th, because I started getting a flurry of emails condemning what I have done. And probably the worst email that I received from a guy named Steve Moody. It says, Precinct Chair 216, Steve Moody. I later found out he was running the elections in Harker Heights. So we'll get back to elections in Harker Heights here in a minute. But he was running the elections over there in Harker Heights. And I'll read you his kind email that he sent me. It starts off with, "This offends me greatly. You offend me greatly. Why don't you take your piece of trash flag along with yourself and vacate the historic Bell County Courthouse? You have disgraced the historical building with this act. Offended, Steve Moody, 216 Precinct Chair." Now, I'm going to send Mr. Moody an email and ask him if he'd like to come to my office and talk with me. I'm going to venture he will not, because anyone that has sent me any horrible emails like that, or even expressed a different side of opinions, I've always invited them to my office. And not one person has came and sat down with me. Not one. So that is what we have to deal with here in Bell County. A pride flag and a Juneteenth flag who offends people greatly, greatly offended, horribly offended. How dare I, Louie Minor, Bell County Commissioner, Precinct 4, do that? Yet they're quite content with a Confederate statue that represents hatred, oppression, slavery, lynchings. They allow that to stay. They could care less about the people that are offended by that. But now they want to do something with a flag. And if you heard what I talked about, two things that we got on the agenda for for tomorrow, for Monday, is the grounds and use for Bell County, and the rules and procedures. So those two things are on the agenda. I'm assuming it has something to do with the flag. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Like I said, a lot of people sent emails about that incident, about the flag, and Judge Blackburn talked to me about it. But he also sent an email to an individual that complained, said that I was violating the Bell County procedures. And this was his response to that. Let me see. Let me pull it up. While I do not approve of the display of the gay pride flag, I'm not sure it violates Section 113 of the Employee's Handbook. I have reviewed the flag as decor in his office, something within his prerogative to decorate his office as he seems fit. I don't see it as a political campaign activity. However, I have reached out to the Texas Ethics Commission to see if they can offer any further guidance on the definition of a political campaign activity, specifically on whether the display of a gay pride flag in a county commissioner's office window is political campaign activity. I think there may also be a question as to whether an elected official in the county is a county employee as it relates to the terms, conditions, restrictions in an employee handbook. I tend to think that the employee handbook is aimed at appointed and hired employees of the county as opposed to those elected, but I think that is a question for our county attorney to address. I will also ask him to do so. With regards to the other flag, the Juneteenth flag, I have also don't view this as a political campaign activity. Juneteenth has been recognized as a federal, state, and county holiday. A display or a flag in a commissioner's office for that holiday is, again, I think, within the commissioner's discretion as to how he wants to decorate his office. I also do not see any of this involves the use of county equipment. I appreciate your inquiry and allowing me to review this matter. I will get guidance from the Texas Ethics Commission and or county attorney. In contrary, I will have that indicated above. I will take appropriate action. Thank you. So that was the issue with all of the LGBT stuff that we had this week in the Commissioner's Court. Two things let me just finish one more thing. I had, both commissioners for Precinct 1 and Precinct 2 said that I called them bigots. I did not call anyone a bigot in that meeting. I stated bigotry prevailed. I did not say anything to anyone or direct anything at anyone. So if they feel offended or defensive that I called them bigots, I think they need to look deep inside, and because I didn't call them a bigots. If they feel like they're bigoted because they didn't vote on it, that's on them. I didn't call them that. So let's switch gears and end on a great note, on a good note here. Our dear friends in Harker Heights, they had a runoff election yesterday. And it was long, drawn out process that we've been doing in Harker Heights. But I am pleased to say and announce that Lynda Nash was reelected to place 4 Killeen City Council with a total of 1,150 votes to her opponent, who received 934 votes. Stacey Wilson was elected to City Council Place 2 with a total of 1,129 votes, beating her opponent's 960 votes. So congratulations to Lynda and Stacey. The people spoke loud to let the city of Harker Heights know that they want people that are going to respect the will of the voters when they're in office. So I went to their event yesterday. They had like a little get together, and I just want to play the clip of Killeen Daily Herald interviewing them right after they won. So I'm going to play that real quick for you. Let me pull it up. My phone is not working. Here we go.
And readers, this is Thad Immerman. I'm here at Taqueria in Harker Heights with the newest elected or unofficial winner of the Harker Heights City Council runoff, Stacey Wilson, and the unofficial winner, also reelected Lynda Nash, placed for Councilwoman Lynda Nash. And so I'm here with them just to get their initial reactions. Stacey, first of all, you're brand new to the city council. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I do, before I say anything else, I want to thank my Lord and Savior for this opportunity. I want to thank my wonderful husband, Charles Wilson. I want to thank these awesome volunteers who make this possible. And, of course, Ground Game and all of those who are seen and unseen. It means the world. It's going to be a new adventure for me, but my heart is vested in it. As the voters can see, I stayed the course, I persevere, because I am serious about serving my community.
Okay. And real quick, I just spoke to you momentarily ago. Just what's going to kind of be your primary focus as you fill the remainder of Mayor Blomquist's vacated term?
I'm going to start, with baby steps, because I know it takes time, but I definitely want to implement transparency right away. I want to make sure that the community knows what's going on, plug into the community, do some town halls, make a regular connection, allowing them that opportunity to make sure they're important and that they should be in the loop of what's going on. Safety is a measure that I would definitely try to get on board with, try to implement some things that could possibly be done in a short time frame. And of course, our infrastructure is long term, but that will also be one of my priorities.
All right. I'm going to shift over here to Miss Nash. And so, again, unofficial winner in the city council race for re-election. And so, how are you feeling knowing that the results came in your favor tonight?
Amazing. I'm amazed at the numbers. I'm amazed at the wonderful volunteers that we had that got out and block walk. They called people. They put door knockers on doors. They worked tirelessly. I think over 3,000 contacts today that was done by all the volunteers. I can't thank them enough. And I'm so excited to have Councilwoman Stacey Nash on the council now. That is
Stacey Wilson.
Stacey Wilson. What I call you? Stacey Nash. I done married her. I just am so excited. As you can hear it, I'm not nervous or anything like that, but we were out there all day today being beat down by that sun. It was one thing for us to be beat down by the sun, but our volunteers, yes. They are just amazing. That's Lynda this way. We can have a better group of people being behind us. And I would change the people. We have learned a lot. I'm just super excited. And
All
I
right.
just said one
Sure,
more thing.
sure.
Thank you, Harker Heights citizens who believed in me and Lynda, and you came out and voted for us.
Well, congratulations to both of you. Enjoy it and enjoy this time with your supporters.
The Taqueria. Yes,
So that was Killeen Daily Herald's Thad Emmerman interviewing the council member elect Stacey Wilson and Councilwoman Lynda Nash. Congratulations to them, and also to Ground Game Texas that put a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of data in helping them get elected. So now hopefully we'll be able to push for the decriminalization of marijuana for Harker Heights to be recognized, what the voters wanted. So anyways, I hope you're up to speed now on everything that's going on. There's still a lot of things going on in Bell County. We're running out of time, but thank you for listening. Engage with your elected officials. Let them know how you feel and get involved. We are looking for your input on things. So thank you. Have a good day. Have a good week. And we are out of here.